All right, guys, I had a bunch of you ask me when I did the subwoofer video the other day. I asked you if you wanted me to do a wiring video on how to wire up subs. So I'm gonna break this down into probably 3 sections. So we're gonna start with the first section, which is gonna be a single dual voice coil sub. So they usually come in dual 1s, dual 2s, and dual 4s. And dual 4s. A lot of people order speakers online and they really don't know what they're ordering or what ohm load they need. So I'm gonna try my best to help you get the speaker that you need. So because if you order the wrong one, say you have an amp that does power at 1 ohm, but you order a dual 4 and you wire it to 8 ohm, you're not gonna get any power out of that amp. So you're gonna think this sub sucks because it's not gonna perform the way that you want it to. Like if you got a dual, let's see where you would want to be. Like if you got a dual 2 sub and wired it to 1 ohm, and it would put out the power that it wanted. So anyway, we're gonna go over these. This is gonna be a single sub dual voice coil wiring configurations. You can have 3 different, or this is gonna be for dual 1s, dual 2s, and dual 4s. So we're gonna jump right in. So here you have one dual 1 sub dual voice coil. This is for dual voice coils, you can see right here. So I did the best I could. I'm not an artist by any means, as you can see. Did the best that I could. So we have the sub right here, have the amp right here. So you have your sub, you have dual 1s. So you have a positive and negative on one side, positive and negative on the other side. If you're gonna wire this in parallel, which is your voice coils are gonna be wired in parallel, or this is how it works right here. So you're gonna have this negative to this negative, and then you're gonna bring those over to the amp negative. Same thing with the positive. So you're gonna have positive to positive, then positive on the amp. This is gonna give you a parallel, which is gonna give you a 1/2 ohm load. So this is not recommended for a lot of amplifiers. Most amplifiers that I deal with, most of them are rated and warranted at 1 ohm. Some crescendo amplifiers offer a 1/2 ohm warranty if you want to pay extra for it. So be careful right here, because if you're not warranted or covered, or if your amp isn't able to do 1/2 ohm, you do not want to do this. You can blow your amp. So just be very careful. So the next option, if you have the dual 1 sub, you can wire it in series, which is going to give you a 2 ohm load. And the way to do this, you're going to have negative to positive. So you have dual 1s, so you have negative positive on one side, positive negative on the other side. You're gonna hook one positive from one side to the negative on the other side. So that's gonna leave you a positive and negative that are left open. So you're gonna run this positive to the positive on the amp, and this negative to the negative on the amp. So that's gonna give you series wiring, which is a 2 ohm load with this subwoofer. So again, if you have an amp that's rated to do, say, 2000 watts at 1 ohm, you may only get, at 2 ohm, you may only be getting 1000 watts. So again, you're not gonna think that the sub is performing correctly because you don't have the right ohm load. So this is the dual 1. We got that like knocked out. So I'm gonna, if you wanna pause this and screenshot it, I'm gonna hold it still for a second. So that's how you do that. And then moving on to the dual 2s. This is one 2 ohm dual voice coil subwoofer. So this is a very popular setup for single sub operation. The reason why is because most of the amps that I sell, most of the amps that are out right now do power and are warranted at 1 ohm once again. So if you're going to be running a single sub and you want a 1 ohm load, this is the sub that you want. You want to get a dual 2, so you can wire it just like this, which is parallel, and get a 1 ohm load. And this is how you do it. Same thing with the other side. So for parallel, you're going to go negative to negative, and then run those. It's going to be hooked together, and you're going to run this wire to the negative on the amp. Same thing with the positives, positive to positive, to the positive on the amp. So that's going to give your 1 ohm load for your amplifier. So if you have an amp that's doing 2,000 watts at 1 ohm, or is rated 2,000 watts at 1 ohm, this would be perfect for it. So your sub will be seeing 2,000 watts. Like mine is rising, all this. This can get very detailed, but I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible. So another ohm load that you can get with your dual 2s is 4 ohm. So if you have 2 dual 2 ohm, you have 1 dual 2 sub, you're going to get a, if you have this 1 dual 2 sub and it's wired in series, this is going to give you a 4 ohm load. So again, if you have an amp that's rated to do power at 1 ohm and you wire this up to 4 ohm instead, you're not going to get the power you're looking for. So with it wired at 4 ohm, the amps might be putting out 500 watts instead of 1,000 watts at 1 ohm. So anyway, this is how you do this. If you, I don't know why you'd want to do this. Maybe if you're doing home audio, a lot of home audio is wired at 4 ohm or 8 ohm, maybe even higher. But in car audio, this is not really a thing anymore. Most things are most setups are wired at 1 ohm. So to do this, you're gonna go negative to positive from this voice coil over this voice coil. This is gonna give you series. So negative to positive. And then the ones that you have left, you're positive, you're gonna go to positive on the amp. Negative, you're gonna go to negative on the amp. So this is how you wire this sub, a dual voice coil, 2 ohm subwoofer in parallel and in series to get a 1 ohm load or a 4 ohm load. So moving over here to another popular sub, or another popular ohm load sub is a 4 ohm sub. We got 1 ohm, 2 ohm, and dual 4 ohm sub. So option 1 is going to give you your parallel, just like on the other diagrams. You're going to get a 2 ohm load here. So if your amp does power at 2 ohm and you're looking to get a 2 ohm load with a single sub, some amps are rated at 2 ohm. So if this is what you're looking for, then check this out. So again, parallel, and you're going to be wired just like this, negative to negative to negative on the amp. Positive to positive, then the positive on the amp. So again, this is a dual 4. It's going to give you a 2 ohm load wired in parallel. Last but not least is, I don't think I would ever recommend this for car audio for sure. This is going to give you an 8 ohm load if you wire a dual 4 sub in series. It's going to give you an 8 ohm load. So to do this, you're going to go negative to positive on this, like negative on one coil to positive on the other coil, and then the ones you have left over, you're going to do positive to the positive on the amp, negative to negative on the amp. This is as basic as I can make this for single sub wiring. I'll do multiple sub, or maybe next I'll do single voice coil, single sub, and then move into dual voice coil, 2 sub setups. It can just get really complicated, so I'm gonna try to keep this as basic as possible. Appreciate you guys checking out the video. And if you know anybody that might need to be educated on wiring their subs, tell them to check out this video and more to come this year. Check out my store, downforsoundshop.com, your #1 source for all these brands. I just came out with some new shirts as well.